Coach Kit training session. Being able to sell is a key part of building your coaching business. This presentation explains the Business Coach Kit sales technique, which is consultative, low pressure, based on wanting to help the prospect. And it's great fun. So let's go. At the end of this coaching session, you'll have learned how to qualify prospects, how to prepare for a sales meeting and what the structure of those sales meetings should be, how to close the deal, how to follow up, and how you review and learn from both wins and losses. So first, to recap on what we sell as Systemisation coaches. It's coaching, but at the consultative end of the scale. We're more interested in business results than in vague promises of drawing out of the client. We recognise that our clients have to change their thinking to achieve the breakthrough that they want, but we believe the best way for them to do that is by seeing the impact of changing the way they run their business. We're more likely to suggest a course of action than we are to coax the client to come up with their own ideas. So we believe that success in business is about two things: selling something the market needs and being organised. That's it. We help our clients understand what it is they sell and why people buy it or don't buy it. But we spend a lot of time teaching our clients how to be organised, documented processes, clear accountabilities, delegation, performance measurement, and regular review. The best way to improve sales conversion rates is to qualify better. So if you're turning up the sales meetings and not getting sales time after time, the first place I'd look is, am I qualifying these prospects properly? You want to be turning up to sales meetings where you have a high expectation of success and the prospect is expecting you to be their business coach at the end of the meeting. So let's talk about qualification for the Business Coach Kit for Systemisation prospects. This is what we're asking. Are they in my niche? Are they suffering from the pain I cure? Are they motivated to do something about it? And do they think I'm the right person to help them? If you can answer yes to all of those, you're going to get a sale. In your marketing, whatever channels you use, whether it's online, offline, or some combination, must be designed to produce qualified leads. Now, all of these areas are covered in greater detail in the marketing training session, but we'll just go through them again in the next two slides. So the niche, the tangible criteria of your niche, are people that own and run their own business. They may be called founder or CEO or managing director or owner, but they own the business and make the decisions. We're looking at businesses between 5 to 30 employees. Less than 5 or fewer than 5 employees, it's not complicated enough for Systemisation. Whoever owns a business can run it on a fag packet or on the back of in their head. Over 30, it's starting to get a little bit too big. They've probably got other advisors. They've cracked a lot of the problems we deal with. But between 5 and 30 and growing, it's starting to get complicated. And depending how you want to coach, either local, within an hour's travel, if you coach online, then obviously you don't have to worry too much about where they are. The intangible criteria, these are somewhat more tricky. It's not necessarily easy to find this out with a trivial level of research or an initial conversation, but things you should be looking for: a history of taking advice, whether that's from other business coaches or from their accountant. That's a good sign. This may come through in the fact they attend seminars, they read management books, also a good sign. If you go into their office, your sales meeting, and there's a shelf full of management books and they're still looking for more advice, you can guarantee that they're open to listening to people like you. Obviously, they need to be ambitious, they need to want to grow. We help people deal with the problems of growth. Very difficult to coach a business owner who just wants to stay in the same place. They probably know there's a better way. They may not know much about it, but they figure there is a better way to do things. They're above average intelligence. You do get stupid business owners who go round and round and round for decades doing the same thing over and over again. It's tough to coach them, so we're looking for people that can absorb what we're trying to tell them. And usually have no corporate management background. They may have some specialist corporate management background, but they haven't had a general management or managing director type position. Otherwise, they'd know the kind of stuff we're going to tell them. Okay, what's the pain? They've grown the business, so they're successful, but now they're starting to feel a bit of pain. They worry that their staff are working too hard, service is suffering. They're working longer hours for the same return, so they personally are working, a lot of hours in the week, and yet business seems to be flatlining. They're spending a lot of time dealing with staff issues and don't feel that staff are as productive as they could be. They're not sure, they seem to be answering their questions, solving their problems, dragging the staff along with them instead of getting help and support from them. They feel that they're bottleneck. They make all the decisions, financial, operational, can't find a way out of that. So they feel a bit at the beck and call of business. The business is running them. And while they might have in their head a sort of fairly clear idea about where they want to go, they find it tough to turn that into a plan that everyone else gets on board with. And many of them are thinking about exit. They think they like an exit strategy. They understand that they need to create a business that is sellable. They don't really know how to do that. So this is the pain that we're solving for these people. And they must be motivated. They could be in the right niche. They could have all of those pains, but unless they're motivated to do something about it, and unless they have enough pain to take action and believe that you have the right solution, you're not going to be able to get a sale out of them. So your marketing starts to create this state, and your sales just has to complete the job. What's our solution for these people with these problems? Well, firstly, we have a methodology or secret formula called Systemisation. Again, it's covered in another training session, but it's proven, repeatable, and low risk. So one of the problems with selling coaching to people is that it's not tangible. It's not like selling them a car or a new machine or a website. You're promising things, but it's kind of hard for them to see what that actually is. So we talk about a methodology, so it's proven, repeatable, and low risk. It's delivered by an expert. That is you. Okay, so your prospect believes that you understand businesses like theirs and that you've helped people just like them. And clearly during the sales meeting, you take every opportunity to explain that you have helped businesses just like theirs. And they trust you. So through the meeting, you need to build rapport, be a good listener, ask sensible questions, and try and give through the meeting so they trust you. So just to capture that on one slide, this is a systemisation process. You should have seen it in the other training session. So it covers systemisation, purpose, mindset, and engagement. And it's shown in this diagram just to indicate that these things are all linked, and there's a kind of a functional approach to this. So you'll see that diagram many times, and so will your clients. Okay, let's talk about preparing for a sales meeting. Firstly, have you qualified the prospect? Is it a genuine opportunity? We talked about how you qualify them earlier. We talked about the things that make a prospect a good prospect. If you're in doubt, send them one of the qualification questionnaires that are in the Business Coach Kit resources. After you've arranged the meeting, ask them to complete it and return it to you before you meet. If they can't be bothered, they're not committed enough. So don't waste your time going to the sales meeting. Make it clear that the prospect this is a sales meeting. Don't beat about the bush and say, let's meet for a coffee, or I'd like to learn a little bit more about your business, because mismatched expectations will result. You'll be thinking it's a sales meeting, they'll be thinking it isn't, so you're probably wasting time from the off. So make it clear without being bolshy or aggressive or pressure that this is a sales meeting. The ideal result for you is to sign them up as a client. Have some relevant case studies clear in your mind before the meeting, either from clients that look like this client, like this prospect, or from the Business Coach Kit case studies, or from other areas where you've worked. because again, this is social proof. It gives them confidence that you've actually done something like this before. And I've used the Systemisation planner, so I have that handy so we can talk through. This is the way we structure our work to systemise clients' businesses. So in your sales pack, 2 blank contracts. In case you make a mess of the first one, you've got a spare. The fee model, there's a bit of theatre around setting the price of the fee model. You can have any kind of fee model. There's one included in the business coach kit as a starter for 10, but you can structure your own any way you like. And the Systemisation plan I just mentioned, the example, so you can talk through the way the Systemisation planner works. If it's not your first sales meeting, make sure you review the last 3. Look at the results, look at what you did well, look at what you did poorly, and make sure that you do a better job this time. It's about learning the lessons from previous sales meetings. So in the Business Coach Kit sales pack, there is a meeting review form which you should be filling in immediately after every sales meeting. Never be late. I'm guessing I don't have to tell you that, but you're selling efficiency, so don't be inefficient, otherwise it undermines the whole proposition. So proper preparation will improve your success ratio. We have a standard sales meeting structure, so that helps you control and navigate the meeting. It gives you confidence, you know where you are in the meeting. Clearly everyone is different and people do go off at a tangent, and you have to kind of go with the flow of what the client wants to talk about, but you keep bringing them back to this structure. You've got a finite amount of time, so you need to get to the close, get them signed up in the time available, so you navigate through this structure in your head and it keeps you focused on the sale. So first thing at the start of the meeting, check how much time the prospect's allowed. Build rapport as appropriate to their type, the type of prospect. There are lots of good books on this, techniques, NLP, DISC, use whatever floats your boat. But essentially, if they're business-like and want to get on with the thing, don't waste time talking about the latest football results. On the other hand, if they want to talk about their kids, talk about their kids. Don't ride roughshod over that and plunge into your sales process. So when you've got that rapport, state your objectives. And this is pretty straightforward. I always use these 3. I want to understand how they've got where they are and what's stopping them getting where they want to be. I want to figure out whether I can help, and if so, explain how. And if at that stage we both feel that there's some mileage in working together, I want to get them signed up. So they're quite clear. This is a sales meeting and your objective is to come out of it with them as a customer. So Neil Rackham wrote a great book called Spin Selling. It's been around for a while now, but lots of companies use spin selling, and this is kind of an adaptation of that. It works for me, and it's the thing that's included in the business coach kit for you. So your first question, what's known as the situation question in spin, is instead of having a whole series of situation questions, we only really need one, which is tell me how you got where you are. And most business owners will, you'll have a job stopping them talking about their business, so they'll plunge into this and talk about how they've got to where they are and what they like about their business and what they don't like. And you're listening out for the problem statement. So I struggle with this, or the problem is this, or the thing that's holding me back. So you're listening out to that, and then immediately you hear it, you're picking up on that problem. You need to interject without being rude as quickly as possible. So just tell me a little bit more about that problem you've mentioned. Could you give me a bit more detail or background on that? Because these problems are what you are going to fix for them. So clearly don't pick up on a problem that you can't solve. So if they're talking about, I don't know, their legal problems, it's not something we do. Or if they're talking about the problems with the their accountant, we don't do that either. So pass it by. But if it's a problem that Systemisation can solve, we're in. Okay. So tell me a little bit more about that problem. When they explain the problem, they go into it, you're asking what the implications are for them. So you're really trying to get them to understand the full ramifications of what this problem is doing to their business. The sales meeting structure sheet that you're using has got, I think, 6 areas just to prompt you if they kind of run out of steam or you run out of ideas. But really, it's around their time, the amount of work they're doing, how much they're earning, their cash issues, what's their family feel about their business, is service suffering, or anything else that you think, clearly this is the, let's build up what the implication is. You're really trying to build their dissatisfaction with the current situation. Don't get into solutions. There's always a temptation. We're all interested in business. We've all, like talking about things that work and don't work, but you're not there to solve their problems. But you could offer 1 or 2 things that build your credibility, give them something to take from the meeting, give something to think about. So do you think being able to delegate better would help? Do you think that having some processes in place would help? So you're really talking about systemization things in general terms. Be showing them that you understand and giving them a clear indication that you have some solutions here. It's not just you're not just a good listener. So depending how the time goes, so beware of rambling on right through the allotted time. But after 2 or 3 of these more detailed discussions, you on your notepad, you've got 2 or 3 areas where you've really made clear to the client that they've got a problem and that you can solve. So you go on to the what's called the N part of SPIN, which is rather clumsily called needs benefits. But basically, you're going to ask them to explain to you how working with you would solve these problems and how that would help them and the business. So you're really asking them to kind of picture how working with you would improve their life. So, what would you see being different after working with me for 3 or 5 months in your business with these problems? So you're really asking them what it is they want, and clearly that's what you're going to offer. At some point, I'll probably say, have you dealt with this before? Can you help with this? If they don't, prompt them. So my normal phrase is, I've asked a lot of questions. Thanks for being so open. Now it's your turn. Would you like to know a bit more about me and how I help business owners like you solve these problems? So again, making the point, you do this. You help these people solve these problems. So part of this, when they say, oh, yes, please, part of this is, building your credibility, your management and coaching experience. Part of it is building systemization coaching up. So the kind of things that are in the business coach kit and how systemization helps people. So you're earning the right to be their business coach. And explain the systemization approach in some more detail. So the 4 stages, purpose, systemization, the engagement sort of gear model that we've talked about earlier on. So this is the way the thing works, giving descriptions of those 4 stages and why they're important and why they're relevant. You might want to touch on mindset here. It depends how you're getting on with the client, but generally I would make the point that a lot of the change starts with the way they think about their business, and it's not so much about the systemization, purpose and engagement. Give some examples. I've used it here. We work with this client, and this is the way it worked out. Go through the systemization plan example. Have it printed out. Don't use your laptop. Laptops just get in the way of the conversation. Have it printed out. Have a couple of copies. Talk through it. This is the way it works. You can identify maybe where they are on some of the dimensions from their conversation so far. And talk about developing a KPI sheet. So the way we work is that we try and build a management routine around key performance indicators for the business that gradually becomes your monthly management review. At this stage, they'll probably kind of groping towards how will it feel for them? What would it look like? What will actually happen? What will they say? They say, how does it actually work? Or how often do you meet a client? Something like this. If they don't, again, prompt them. Would you like to know how it works? And now you can talk about the monthly meeting and preparation for it, how long it lasts, what happens afterwards, the kind of things that go on in the meeting, how the thing is structured, how you use systemization to keep things on track. If you're offering, email and phone support between meetings, how that works, so on and so forth. So you're really trying to make it solid for the people. This is how it would actually work in practice. This is what you would see that would be different in your business. Hopefully at some point they ask about the price, which is a buy signal. It's a good sign. If they don't, prompt them by saying, these words. So is this something you'd like to go ahead with? If they still don't ask about the price, just say, I expect you'd like to know how much it would cost. So at some point you're saying, here is the price. And at that point you say, is this something you'd like to go ahead with? So they know what it is, they know the price. I usually use a fee calculator as a little bit of theatre, your turnover, this is what you want, that's the price. And it gives you a bit of comfort, time to think, gives the prospect the feeling this is a sort of a well-worked process. Usually you will know what the price is by the size of business, how often you're going to meet, pretty early in the meeting in your head. It's not complicated. So anyway, having given the price, repeat the above question. You've got to ask for the sale. If you don't ask for the sale, you won't get it. So you must ask for the sale. Nothing to be embarrassed or scared about. They know you're there to sell. So having got to the point you've asked for the sale, they're going to be one, if there are objections, they're not always, but if there are, there can be one of two. One will be, I need to think about this and discuss it with someone. The other will be price. If they need to consider and discuss, if they need to say, I need to talk to so-and-so about this, you've screwed up on qualification because there was someone else involved in the decision-making process that you didn't know about. If you can, get that other person in straight away. If you can't, say, okay, that's fine, I understand that, but can we arrange a follow-up meeting that I can meet with both of you to talk about this? If it's about, okay, I just need to think about it, then say, okay, understand, empathize, important decision. But really, this is where we bring in the point that what we sell is not a 6 or 12-month program. There's no commitment on the first month. And the best way to find out if it's valuable and useful is to try it. So it's a fairly small commitment for them to get on and try it. If they quibble about the price, it means that you've, again, failed to sell the proposition to them properly, haven't really clarified the benefits, and so price means value. They don't see that the value is there, not that they don't think it's worth it, just don't see the value. You can go through the whole thing again if you like, more or less the whole meeting, or again you can try pointing out that no commitments required beyond the first month, so it's relatively low risk, or if you really are on the ropes, you can say, well, what about, again, I'd be happy to share. I'm so confident this is going to work. I'm happy to share a percentage of any additional net profit or value, whatever, that we create together. In my experience, that is never accepted, but it does get the client focused off the cost and back onto the value, which is where you should be trying to keep them anyway. Sometimes they'll say, well, I like what you're saying. Would you mind putting it in writing or send me a proposal? That either means no, it's just they're polite way of saying no, I'm not interested, or it means they just want, the kind of people that like to see things in writing, which is fine. So one or two things you could do here. One is say, yeah, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do a proposal if we can shake hands on the deal here and now. That is what we've agreed. It's what you want to do. You're going to do it, and I'm just going to work away to write a proposal to clarify or get that officially in writing. That's one way. The other way I'd say is, well, I can do better than that. Whip out one of the blank contracts and write it out in front of them. It's got a box where you can write out what you've agreed to do. And you can put it in front of them and ask them to sign it. So either of those will bring out the real objection if there is one. So most of the time you'll get a yes. 2 out of 3 you'll probably get a yes, which is great. Shaken by the hand. In most cultures, It's a powerful symbol, a handshake. It's a promise, really. Enthusiastic handshake, great, I'm looking forward to working together. Get a date in the diary then and there, and write up the contract there, and don't have a good feeling, they're lovely people, they're feeling good, and go away, and then they start to change their mind. Write the contract there and then get them to sign it. You can try a withdrawal clause if you can't get an okay, a yes, you can't get past the price. You can say, well, I can see you've got a problem, but doesn't look like you want me to help, so I'm leaving and hope you can find someone else. I mean, probably that won't close it, but it's worth trying. If you get a delay, you can't get past the delay objection, they're not going to sign up, then agree a time to follow up with a call. Don't pressurize them. We're not pressure salespeople. In my experience, about 50% of people really do just need time to think and will come back and say yes. But, we don't want to pressurize them, and anyone who's, done well enough to grow a sizable business is going to be hacked off by pressure sales techniques. So when you get a yes and a signed contract, scan it back to them, obviously, for their records. Confirm the date and time of the first meeting again, just confirming when we're meeting. If possible, send it in a, like an Outlook sales meeting invitation, so then it's in their diary. Give them something to get them started. They might be waiting a month, and all they'll be thinking about is how much this is going to cost, and not how much it's going to benefit them. So give them something to get on with, maybe the Systemisation planner or visioning tool or some other activity which makes them see that we're already starting on fixing our business. If you've got a delay, so follow up when you said you would. Be persistent but not obnoxious. It might take months. They might be quite, they might have some other project on, or not have the cash to hand, or something else that they need to. Just try and have a chat each time you ring them, progress, and set another time to follow up. If eventually get fed up with you calling, they'll probably tell you, or refuse to take your calls, and then mark it down as a no. Don't leave it lying around in your pipeline. I normally send an email saying, I understand the time's not right, can I keep in touch? And then you never know, they might come back years later. If they say, yeah, okay, come in and see me again, then pretty much that is a yes. They're not going to waste their time saying no again. So you're on a good wicket then for getting a yes. Whether you win or lose, complete the sales meeting review form. Be honest. What things did I do wrong? Oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I forgot to do this, or I didn't close that, or I bottled out from doing that. So, I personally mark it in red if I got it wrong, green if it went well, and then I try and identify what won me the deal or lost me the deal, and put a big red cross or a green tick on it. So when I'm looking back through, I can see the ones that went well or not, and reflect on those accordingly. Get your new client set up. If you're selling well and you're busy, a month later when you come to work with the client, you'll have forgotten all about that sales meeting, what they talked about. So send them a copy of the contract, make sure it's signed, set up your client folders with what you've given it to do, the contract, the meeting date, copy of the sales meeting notes, because that's where you got their problems and things like that. And you'll have forgotten all that by the next time. So there you've got your client folder ready to go when the date comes around. Set up your invoicing. You don't want to be providing service to lots of clients and finding you're only invoicing half of them. So immediately set up your repeat invoicing to follow up the meetings, and update your CRM status. We teach process, we teach routine, we teach organization. You need to walk the talk. So on that CRM, the opportunity is closed as one or lost, and the contact is now a customer rather than a prospect if they are a customer. Okay, so routine. So to summarize that, marketing delivers qualified prospects to your sales process. Proper qualification improves success ratio, makes you confident going into sales meetings. Preparing consistently for meetings makes you confident and improves success ratio. Following a structure makes you confident, helps you control and navigate the meeting, stay focused on the sale, which improves success ratio. You must ask for the sale. to close a deal. Even if you didn't get a yes, persistent, organised, polite following up can get you a yes. And finally, great salespeople are bright and learn from each meeting. They don't keep making the same mistakes. So that's it. Thanks for listening.